Hi, my name's Costa. I'm a stand-up comedian performing live at Theatre on the Square this week, 12 to 6 in July, and I'm here on social TV with Nokuthula Kwela.
So lovely to have you today, Costa. How are you doing?
Good to be here.
It's awesome to have you, as I said. So you have a remarkable story to tell. And I feel like it's relative in the South African culture as most young people have an issue of substance abuse. So you went from smoking cigarettes from the age of 12. You then proceeded to drinking alcohol at the age of 14. Please correct me where I am wrong. And
It was worse. It's worse.
yeah.
It's worse than that. I started
And
drinking. I started drinking at 12,
oh
and then
wow.
smoking at 14. I know it's worse. It's worse.
Oh
I
my
know.
gosh. Okay, so then you also have a history of using drugs from cocaine to meth, etc. And then you did something incredible, which blows my mind. You competed at the 2011 marathon in New York, and you were also the Standard Bank Ironman. Can you just tell us about this incredible journey that you have been on?
Well, to start off with, I where do I start off with? To start off with, things in life were good for me, and things in life are very, very privileged. Having love in the family, food on the table is something that I'm very, very grateful for. But everybody's journey has its moments, and it has its trials and tribulations. And I was sent a certain journey in my life, and that was a journey of a good friend of mine, Pubby, once said, othering. Where not only are you other than, are you different to other people, which a lot of people feel, especially when they're kids.
Yeah.
But I not only felt different, I was also made to feel different and bullied for feeling different. Not at the home. The home was a loving place, but it was all outside. It was at school from a very young age. I remember at the age of 5 at school, feeling like something's very, very wrong. I know I'm different. And I only realized that when I got to school. And then I thought, okay, something's up. But then I was made to feel different. And then for my differences, I was made to feel worse. I was singled out as being the little feminine boy, the boy who couldn't kick a ball at sport, the boy who wasn't a regular boy. There was something wrong with that. And I picked up, okay, so there's something wrong with me being me. So I went into my own shell and I retreated further and further. And then, and of course I didn't ask for help. I just thought, okay, there's something wrong with me. So I can't tell anybody. So I shut down. And that's where the problem starts, is when you don't express yourself. And I didn't express myself to another human being. I kept it all inside. And then, of course, the voices inside are crying for help. And I had a drink at 12 years old, and it numbed this cry for help, and it made me feel numb. And I wanted to feel numb. I didn't want to feel the bad, ugly feelings, because I didn't have tools with which to deal with them. And then I learned to cope. We are resilient. South Africans, we are resilient. We learn to cope. You go, okay, well, hang on, this is one. I don't know what to do with it. I drank once or twice, and then I was drinking, once a month, and then every weekend. And then I started smoking, and then I knew, okay, something's up with me. I've got a lot of potential. I can feel there's something inside of me that's bigger than all this nonsense that I'm getting. But let me just push harder. And I pushed super hard. I got a good matric. I went to varsity. I was achieving on one level, but on another level, I never accepted that I was gay. I didn't accept that I was, different to all other men, et cetera, et cetera. And then it was a process of coming out and coming to terms with who I am, coming to terms with being, what is the definition of a man? Why do we even need to define ourselves in terms of gender? Why don't we define ourselves in terms of soul and and humanity? That is what defines a person, not our gender. And while I identify as a certain way, which is immaterial to me, it's nobody's business what anybody genders themselves at. I just care about your heart. I care about your soul. And for me, it was about this journey to finding myself. And unfortunately, when you start a process of addiction, it's a hole that just keeps growing, and it's a hole in your soul, and nothing will fill it, no substance.
Yeah.
And you need more and more and more to keep that going. And then, of course, hard drugs started in my late 20s. I lost everything.
Yeah.
And I was brought to my knees in my early 30s,
Wow.
finally hooked on crystal meth, all the while hiding it from everybody.
Yeah.
Being a successful business person, you know, trying to hold up a persona that I just couldn't anymore. And then the drugs take over. And I was brought to my knees. And when you're brought to your knees, it's a good time to do one thing, and that's start praying, basically.
Absolutely.
And I prayed, and I prayed for a miracle. And this miracle is my recovery. It's not my doing. I don't know how it happened. And my recovery is an exercise in believing in miracles, believing that you are worth a miracle. And I was like, I know I'm worth a miracle. That was my part in the miracle. I was like, okay, I am worth a miracle. I'll take it. Thank you. And I showed up for my recovery every single day. And to this day, I'm showing up for my recovery. Recovery from alcohol and addiction involves going through the pain, not around pain, or medicating the pain or numbing the pain. And it's about going through the pain, because and I've learned so much. None of what I'm saying, okay, is original. All of this I've gotten from self-help books, from my therapists, from priests, from people who've helped me. You know, all the cliches are right. A life that is full of a journey that includes pain is a ticket to a happy life. It's a ticket to a fulfilled life. You know, no life is exempt from pain. And you can't stop your children from feeling pain. You can't stop yourself from feeling pain, but you can stop yourself from how you deal with the pain. And I'm glad I found different ways to deal with the pain. Gratefully, I was given a recovery opportunity, and I took it.
Wow, this is miraculous. And actually, I'm thinking that the grace of God is just constantly towering upon your life, Costa. It's actually brilliant. And it leads me to my next question. So there is no situation that's unique to a race or a gender or a class. So how important was community, or is community, in your life or in the recovery process? Because you mentioned that you come from a loving family, and I love the fact that you acknowledged that you did not do it alone. There were priests, there were counselors, etc. So how important is that, and how important is accountability as well?
You know, so firstly, in terms of community, drugs, alcohol, all of that, while it can make you social, you think it's making you social. If you put the drugs down, all those friends run away. You're not. It is the loneliest. You're alone. And the opposite, again, I didn't come up with this. Somebody called Gabor Mate says that the opposite of addiction is connection.
Wow.
So what we are craving is connection. And as addicts, we are told to seek out the connections, to reach out. And once you reach out, just one little pinky finger, okay? Once I reached out my pinky finger to my family, they grabbed my arm and took me in. Once I reached my pinky finger out to any community, and the right community, you know, like there's some people who, you know, like again, a cliche, there's your biological family, then your biographical family. In other words, the family you create. So not many people are fortunate to have both their parents alive and living with them and caring for them like I was. But I've also seen people make their own biographical families. And I also have a biographical family. I have my biological family that is my family that I'm connected to. But I've also created another family, and that is my close circle. The people who get me on different levels. You know, not everybody's going to get you on every single level. You can't expect that from life. And it's a part of maturing. But community, and I don't mean community like just your neighbors in the suburb you live in, okay? often that's not your community. You need to find your tribe, your people. And if your tribe is other people who are makeup artists and men who wear skirts, find them, hang with them. If your tribe is other women who defend other women and fight for other women and believe in the power of sisterhood, then find them. I'm not talking about your tribe where you all dress the same and you look cool. No, I'm talking about your soul tribe. And your soul tribe has no race, no gender, nothing. You know it when you meet them, you know. And the importance of community is when you ask for help, you will be so surprised how many people want to help. You just have to ask. People can't, people are going about their lives. You just have to put up your hand and ask for help. There is so much help out there.
That's very true and really profound. So on to exciting things. There's something exciting that's currently going on. You spoke about the stand-up comedy that started on the 11th of July till the 16th. That's on Sunday. Can you tell us a bit more about that? What is the theme? How can people buy tickets? And where is the comedy show?
So the comedy show is, my life of addiction and the pain. After a while, healing happened, and with healing comes some joy. And then you can look back at it and find the funny moments in it. Not like I'm making fun of myself, absolutely not. But like I'm just drawing some light to a topic that has been very heavy for a lot of my life. And my comedy show is called Desperately Seeking Souvlaki, which is a Greek dish.
Wow.
And it talks about me just being this other wacko kind of guy who got lost in his way. And it's a way of looking at my community with all its faults, and also drawing some inspiration from my community and being grateful for being this South African Greek crazy gay guy who just is himself up on stage. And 70 minutes of lots of laughs and a couple of tough moments in there where I show myself for who I am and our community for its flaws. And other than that, it's a really fun night out that is getting tongues wagging, and I'm very excited. Last night was opening night. It went so well, and you can't ask for a better opening night. And I'm just really, really chuffed to, because here's the thing. When I was on stage before I went on, and I'm going to get emotional now. I just can't help myself. And I stood there before I came on stage, and I just went, like, just one person. I just want one person to leave tonight feeling safer in the world.
Wow.
Because they are being seen, because of the way I was seen. Now I'm passing it on and seeing other people, being seen. This is not my power exposed to the world. I'm not inspiring other people. I'm just passing on. I was seen, now I'm seeing you. And I see the people with the long, complicated names. They were given a birth, they have to shorten and change so that people can say them easier. Nogotula, me, Konstantinos, people always get it wrong. I want you to be seen. I want people to be seen for the sexism that's out there, the racism, the homophobia, but to be seen that it's okay to be who you are. And before I went out, I just went like, I don't care about the rest of the audience. I just care about that one, getting through to that one person, and hopefully one person every performance. So I don't know where that came from, but that's what was last night was about.
This is brilliant, because essentially life requires us to take our triumphs into like treasures. So there's humor in everything, like even in the pain, there's humor. So this is incredible that you're taking your personal story and you have created a stand-up comedy show from it. And I'm certain that it's creating a lot of impact. I'm personally going to come to the show. And also, Costa, I actually find it so fascinating that you journaled all of this and you have a book. How did you keep track of everything that happened? Because life changes, we move, sometimes we lose, material. How did you manage to keep everything and convert it into a book?
Well, I journal most mornings. It's my way of just dumping out who I am onto a page and leaving it. Okay, it's a handing it over so that I can get through my day. Wow. And I kept all the journals. When I sat down to write, it's just about remembering who you are and connecting to who you are, because, and then that's why it's like weird. I say the book wrote itself because I started writing, I couldn't stop writing. So obviously it was in me, and it just kept coming. And my storytelling is something that comes naturally to me, gratefully, and that's not mine. That's a gift, obviously. I mean, there's no, I mean, I never wrote at school. I wasn't a writer before, but when a story needs to come out, it finds a way of coming out. So you don't need to remember where you put your journals. You don't need to remember what your story is.
Wow.
It will come. Sit quietly enough for long enough, and you connect to who you are and to your source, and the story flows.
Wow, Costa, you are so brilliant, and you are in your purpose. If you ever doubt that, you are doing so much for the community. And lastly, how can we get tickets to your comedy show? And how can we contact you if we want to further engage with you as the community?
Sure.
Tell us.
So a few things. One, CompuTicket. Yep, tickets are for sale, 170 Rand. Please go and go to CompuTicket.com. The show's called Desperately Seeking Souvlaki. You'll find it on there if you look under Costa.
Yeah.
And the show's on until Sunday, the 16th. I am not a professional. So in other words, I don't offer counseling advice, nor do I have the qualification to assist people with addiction and such issues. I do know a ton of resources. You find me on Instagram at Costa Comedian, and you send me a DM, and I will put you in touch with people who can help. I will also always offer friendship. And the one thing I'll always say to some people is, if your family throws you out, you always have family with me. And you send me a DM, and friendship is always on offer.
Wow. Costa, thank you so much. It's been amazing talking to you. I am definitely going to follow you as well.
Yay, thanks.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. This was really awesome. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.